Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of external battery solutions for the BMPCC. If you are familiar with this camera at all, and if you're watching this video, then you probably are, you know that the BMPCC has really egregiously bad battery life. Typically you get anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes of record time per battery from the little Nikon something batteries that this camera uses. It's even worse with the batteries that come with the camera. They're even lower in terms of voltage and watt hours than some of the third-party ones that you can buy. But regardless, you don't get much battery life out of the little batteries that come with the camera. So today we're going to take a look at two external solutions. Both are quite different in terms of form factor and price. The first one, and I think I just put the box away on accident, so hold on. Not that you really need to see the box or anything, is the Juicebox Magic Power 2.0 for Blackmagic cameras, and it retails for $109. That's what they advertise on the Juicebox page, and that's also what you can find it for on Amazon. So it's pretty expensive, and it is a 58 watt-hour battery, so it has quite a bit of life, and Juicebox says that it should last for more than 7 hours for the BMPCC. It also works with the other Blackmagic, the early Blackmagic cameras like the 4K and the 2.5K production cameras, and it also works with the micro cinema camera. So in the box you get the DC cable that will power the cameras. You get the little one for the BMPCC, and then the other cameras, the production cameras, have a bigger DC input, and it comes with that as well. And it comes with the charger, which I also put away. Never mind that, but it's just a charger to charge the battery itself, and they say it'll charge a completely dead battery in about 2 hours. It also comes with a car charger, so you can charge it on the go. So that's really it in terms of charging and cabling that it comes with. It has this locking mechanism. Yeah. Already installed. This has a Allen key type screw in here, so you can loosen this and then you can rotate this. So I guess it doesn't really matter. You could also just install this the opposite way. So depending on how you want it to be oriented, you could just rotate it either way. And then the locking mechanism, you can just screw this directly onto the camera. So it's a 1/4-20 mount, or you can mount it to a cage in any number of places. So you just slide this on here and then just latch it down. So really easy to mount it. Obviously it's a really big battery, so form factor becomes an issue when you're talking about using this with the BMPCC or even the micro camera or whatever. To me, it's not really a huge deal. You still have a camera that you can handhold really easily. This weighs 1 pound. Altogether, this probably weighs around 3 pounds, as it is, well, I don't know, maybe even more than that with the lens and the microphone. But it's still something you can easily hold in your hand. The more weight you have on it, the less you get all those little micro jitters that you can get with the BMPCC very easily. So it's still, you can still run and gun with this bad boy. And I just mounted it. It seemed the most logical place to mount it was right on top of this handle, and you can still hold it with the handle. It makes it a little bit trickier, but it's still doable. So I think overall it works pretty well. The cables tuck out of the way, just wrapped them all up so they weren't dangling everywhere. And yeah, it just doesn't really do much in terms of getting in the way. So I think form factor works pretty well. If this all looks okay to you, then it should work okay. So some other really nice features of it. It has an LCD screen that tells you the wattage that it's outputting. It also tells you the remaining life of the battery. You can run USB powered devices off of it. It outputs 5 volts and 2.1 amps over USB. You can charge USB. The input here, you can charge the Juicebox battery with micro USB. So some other neat things is that it will charge the internal battery, and it's basically redundant. So if you have the internal battery in here and this dies, the camera will automatically switch over to the internal battery. So if you happen to be recording when this dies, you can still, it'll still record. It comes with a 12-month warranty, and they also claim that it will, you can recharge it 500 times before it starts losing any sort of memory or capacity. So for $109, it seems to be a pretty reasonable solution. However, there are cheaper solutions that do pretty much the same thing, but you don't get quite as many nice features with it. So this is one you can find on Amazon. It's the ILEDGear NPF-Series battery plate adapter for BMPCC, BMPC, BMCC, and HDV-Z96 LED light. One of those names that just really sells the product. This is kind of just a generic power converter. So it takes a standard Sony NPF battery, converts it to 12 volt, so it can power the BMPCC. I don't have all of the components that it comes with in the box, so what you typically get with this is obviously the cable to plug it into the BMPCC, and you get a little L bracket that has a 1/4-20 mount, and you can just, you know, attach it directly to the camera or to the camera cage, and then the other end of the bracket slides into this little receptacle, and this knob just locks it in place. I don't like using that because it's a little bit loose and it jiggles and wiggles around and makes noise. So I have just a 1/4-20, you know, thread, and then a locking nut. So I just attach it to the camera or the camera cage with this. It also comes with a Velcro strap. You could, you know, ratchet it, stretch it. You just stretch it right down to the camera, but that seemed a little like a silly way to mount something. But so mounting options out of the box aren't the greatest, but there's plenty of workarounds for cheap. If you read reviews on this thing, some people complain that the cable didn't last and it broke. You can probably find these cables a dime a dozen wherever, Amazon. And the prong inside is at an angle, so I'm not really sure if it's designed to be that way or if it was just damaged, and not damaged, but just bent to the side. It doesn't kind of give you the feeling that it's gonna last forever. But this is $25.90 on Amazon. It's eligible for Prime, so it's free to ship. And right now, they'll ship it in about 2 days. So I guess depending on where you live, you might not get 2 days delivery, but probably in the United States, you will. You can use any NPF battery, so these come in different sizes and capacities. But this is a smaller NPF battery that's a 2200 milliamp, 15.84 watt hours, and this will this will power the camera for several hours itself. And you can obviously buy bigger ones. So with this, you know, you only get the adapter, you don't get batteries, so you'll have to buy additional batteries. But it's still quite a bit less expensive than the Juicebox. But some other factors to take into consideration is it does not charge a standard BMPCC battery. If the battery dies in here, once again, the camera will switch over to the internal battery, so you won't necessarily lose what you're recording. Some other factors are it doesn't tell you battery, you know, you don't have any battery life indicator, so you don't know, obviously, how much you have left on it. But those are really the only downsides in comparison to the Juicebox. But, you know, it really depends on how much you want to spend, how much you're willing to spend, and whether like the additional functions that you can power other things from this, and you can see how much is left. You can see how much battery capacity is left, and it also will charge the internal battery. So those are all some cool things about the Juicebox. Another thing about the Juicebox is that you can get a DC splitter, so you could power something else with a DC out with the Juicebox, but it won't work with the BMPCC because the DC splitter comes with the bigger DC in. So it would work with the production cameras, but it won't work with the BMPCC. Like I said, you still can power stuff with USB with this battery, but you couldn't do anything like that with the ILED adapter. But I think that's about it. Thanks for watching this video. It was just a quick overview of a couple external battery options for Blackmagic cameras, the BMPCC, the micro, and the earlier production cameras. Either one is a good option. They, do what they're supposed to do. Really increase the crappy battery life of the, standard batteries. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next time.